So welcome to the third and final part of my look at how they built the Derwent and Howden Dams in the Peak District. So specifically looking at how they kind of use the railways to get the materials from the Bole Hill Quarry that we did in part one, and down this section of railway line from the main line at Bamford, called the Bamford and Howden Railway. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, it'd mean the world to me if you'd hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notifications when I upload new videos. So we finished off last time just at the on the dam wall, the other side there. So we're looking here just across to the other banking. So the railway line would have hugged that side of the valley, and it would swoop across and just go underneath the bridge, just somewhere over here. Oh, I'm just glad to get off that main road. So busy, so loud as well. Such a fast piece of road that. So I'll explain a bit more now we're away from that traffic. So we finished off the last video just on the dam walls of the Ladybower Dam, the other side of Ladybower Reservoir. So we've just come round the other side of the reservoir now, and the railway just kind of loops across the reservoir and under the bridge. So in the last video, that last section down the Thornhill Trail was really easy to follow, but it's a bit more complicated on this side of Ladybower, and that's mainly because where the railway was in the Derwent Valley on this section is now partly underwater, because since the railway was built they flooded it, obviously. That's why they were building the dams. So I'll just put up a screenshot of the Rail Map Online website just showing the route of the line today. So you can see Ladybower Dam at the bottom there, and we're heading north, and that arrow there is where we're starting our video today. So just before the railway line went underneath what's now the A57 Snake Pass, it crossed the valley that was then just at the River Asher on this viaduct. So this next section between the Ladybower Reservoir and Fairholmes, it isn't that easy to follow, to be honest. There are some sections of the old line that are now used by the road up to Fairholmes, but overall the landscape of the area has changed so much it's difficult to pick out anything obvious of the old railway line. So that's one of the pumping houses that's part of the underground pipeworks and aqueducts. We're going to see more on those. We saw some of these buildings out near Bole Hill Quarry as well. So I got the bus in from Sheffield this morning, the new A57 service, half an hour from Sheffield bus station to Ladybower Inn. So you'll see these TARDIS things if you walk around the area, and again these are part of that pipework that I mentioned. They're not just fancy litter bins. So some bigger examples of those Dalek shaped things. So you can see on there Derwent Valley Water Board, and then on that one 1940. So that's the time, around the time where the Ladybower Reservoir was built. Obviously it came slightly later than the Howden and Derwent dams. So this section of road that we're going on down towards Fairholmes is built on the old track bed. Again, the landscape around the Fairholmes area and the building site of the Derwent Dam has changed dramatically since the railway was around. I found that what was the route of the old line was very overgrown, and it was very difficult to navigate through. But there was also a spur down to the wall of the dam that they was building, and I did find these old bits of metal things sort of buried in the woods. But I'm really not sure if these are railway related or not. You can just see the eastern tower of Derwent Dam just poking through. Just amazing to think all them beautifully crafted bricks there, perfect rectangular, were all sourced and blown out of that quarry that we were walking around just a couple of videos ago. I always think it's a shame you can't sort of go and look in there properly at the memorial. It's hard to see from the doorway. There's an old photograph on the board. And you can see that spur. One of the branch lines off that spur, one of the sidings actually going into the dam wall. So a bit like the plug hole back at Ladybower. It's a little bit calm at the moment, time of year, but if you come at the right time of year, around winter, it's absolutely fantastic to see the water topping over the top of the dam. Such a roar. So we've got these concrete blocks here now. I initially thought these were from the railway, but I was reading that they were actually some foundations for some machinery to do with the stone. There's actually 3. But just below those stone crushers, you can see there, just on the water's edge, there are some piers from the old railway line as well. So we couldn't see those from the road, just because of the vegetation. So that's the Derwent Dam. We're now following the Derwent Reservoir up to the second dam, Howden Dam, or it's the first dam, whichever way you want to look at it. Howden Dam was built first. So another look at Rail Map Online, this time for the Derwent Reservoir. Now we've got a similar kind of theme where the railway's sort of hugging the western side of the valley. There was a few more features that we could find along this section. Specifically, we've got that little body of water going inland. That's Ouzelden Clough, and there was a viaduct over there that we're going to see in a minute. So this is the remains of the Ouzelden Viaduct that crosses the Ouzelden Clough. We're just on the south bank at the moment. So as you can see, there's a few timber piers still visible, and we can still see quite a lot of the old stone foundations. Now I did think for the time of year that the water level was relatively high compared to what I've seen in previous summers. So when the water level drops just a little bit more, you can actually see more of these stone foundations going across the reservoir that we can see in this photo. We've also got first views of the Howden Dam. So I'm just off round to the other side of that viaduct. A couple more timber posts over there. It's a bit of a slight detour inland, for a couple of 100 yards. But I reckon we could probably cut across that way, to be honest, if we're being adventurous. And here's the other side of the viaduct. So just leaving the site of that little viaduct there, and looks like we've got another bridge and structure here. So on the left hand side to us we'd have the old little temporary town of Birchinlee, or Tin Town as it's also referred. But it's probably the first time, to be honest, I'm actually able to sort of see an obvious route of where the line went from a line of sight. It has been a difficult one to try and track, to be honest. So it looks like the line's going off in a direction, so we'll go and have a look in the woods. Here's the track bed. So I've tried to stick to what looked like a banking. It's been pretty tough going in places, but I am on the right track straight across there, because look at this. I've come across it used to be a bridge. Scrambled up the other side. So great, I found that. I was starting to doubt whether or not I was kind of going down a wrong path. Alright, I actually found this map on the side of the path that actually shows the railway line. So there's the viaduct over the water we saw. There's, assuming that's that second disused bridge. There's an old station there, and again I'm assuming that's the one, that's the bridge that we've just come across or gone around. So the dam's only just here, just in front. I've just left the road, which is at the top, and come down through a clearing. Now, I don't think the railway would have come down this steep gradient, but I can't see any other features leaving the road. This has got me stumped. No doubt everyone's already pressed that back button by now anyway, so save me the embarrassment. So I'm getting closer to the water's edge now anyway. We do have a banking over there, and it's just pointing straight at an even bigger banking. I've come up to that banking that I've just seen. I cannot figure out how we get from up here down to the bottom of that dam wall with the railway line. Or maybe I'm looking at it from the wrong angle. maybe it didn't go down very to the foot of the dam. Maybe the line sort of finished quite high up on the hillside in relation to the dam. So, but the pictures I've seen are of the trains, or the line, and the kind of work side right down there where the mud banks are. So here we are. Here's Howden Dam, and this is the ultimate end of our explore. We allowed down there. There's no barriers or things up. And we can get a lot closer to this dam. You can just get a feel just for the size of these things. I mean, look at the size. Look at the size of these bricks. Again, I keep repeating myself. These came from a quarry near Grindleford on the little railway wagons. Every single one of these bricks on these two dams. They were lowered down that incline, pulled down the tracks, and it's followed the exact same journey that we've been following over 3 videos. So you can just about make out on the plaque there, 1912 this one opened, so this was 4 years before the Derwent one that we went past. So I do understand this one had a little bit of an opening ceremony, but when they got around to opening the Derwent, they're in the midst of World War I, so it just kind of opened with no fanfare. Just got on with the job. Found a way down onto the bottom, onto the banking. It's lovely down here, really deep in the valley. It's like the dam sprung a leak there. I think I've just about chose the hardest place to sit for dinner, but I just wanted to get out the book I fetched with me today, just to try and clear up some confusion. So I think I was right, actually. I think the railway kind of just sat there, just on the level there, and went up just there. So that makes more sense now. That explains the lack of a drop down to the bottom of the wall. And I can't really show you photos from a book, but that's the stone we've just been looking at. So that's the grand opening. So I'm just going to head back up to the road. I'm going to have a little scout around the Birchinlee area where the tin town used to be, and then that's it really. So back up to the road, bit of a climb. We've got nettles, brambles, massive thistles. I guarantee, well, I've got shorts on. If something stings, it's going to be in the way. So I hope you've enjoyed these 3 videos. I've really, probably the most fun I've had making videos so far, and I know I say that every time I do a video, but genuinely has been. It's just great to string it together into a story from again. Still quite hard to get your head around, from that little quarry, or big quarry should I say, up at Grindleford, to them 2 magnificent dams, just to be able to follow and do that same journey that all that stone made, and just see, learn about the history of when they were constructing it and how it was done. So yeah, really fascinating. So we're just heading back down the road, down to Birchinlee. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, probably not. So Birchinlee, otherwise known as Tin Town, was basically a temporary town that housed the workers that built the dams. I think at its peak, I think it was 900 strong. So it was quite a community. So there's not many buildings left around the site, but I'm just going to go and have a look at some of the ruins and foundations. I have to say I have walked and cycled and run down this road, and I've never really paid much attention to it, to be honest. It is what it is, isn't it? It's no longer here. That's the point. We've just come up from where the farm was. I mean, I'm not seeing anything. This, according to the map, these plateaus, both sides of the road, were kind of rows of the tin huts. That's what gave it the name Tin Town. So that photo is that. You can actually make out the banking in the photo. I found bricks. It's only half a brick, so I don't know what it says, but I think that's, would have said Barnsley. Can't make out the top bit. Yeah, it was Barnsley. I'll have to look that up when I get home. We're now in the married quarters. It had a reputation for hard drinking and rough lifestyle. So another information board. So you can definitely see the steps of the bankings sort of going up. The rows of houses were the streets, so I went up the side of the hill. So thanks again. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, have a look at some of my other videos, and take care, and I'll see you all again soon.